tickers get high. Charge through the wave like they know I'm that guy. Woo! Bulls break loose when I whisper a trade. Stocks in the red, guess who got paid? Strutting and swayed with the alligator boots. Your lady by the waist, now she loving my moves. Yeah. Ticker tape fall like confetti in the air. I make a bear turn bull with a devilish stare. Woo! Velvet Kohrs, feather in the hat, diamonds in the door. Velvet Kohrs, turn 1 into 10, then flip it some more. Kohrs, cash like waves, keep crashing the shore. Kohrs, better cover the game, better check the scoreboard. Got that Midas touch, every bet go gold. While you playing checkers, I'm running the whole board. Limit up, limit down, baby, I don't flinch. Dipped in velvet, pockets deep like a trench. Got my feet on the desk, Wall Street's on my line. Ring, ring. Saying, Velvet, how you do it? Every call so divine. Told him, listen, little player, I was born to shine. I see green every morning when I open my eyes. Ooh, they jealous of the game. Velvet Kohrs, ooh, they whisper in my name. Hey! Velvet Kohrs. Velvet Kohrs. Charts go wild when I step on the floor. Velvet Kohrs. Trend so hot, gotta mop up the floor. Velvet Kohrs. If I cash out, market begs me for more. Velvet Kohrs. Drip too clean, yeah, my game too pure. Y'all ain't never seen a player this cold. Velvet Kohrs. Stealing your girl, printing money in gold. Velvet Kohrs. From the charts to the clubs, my legend unfolds. Velvet Kohrs. Y'all just watching while my pocket explodes.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Folks, here we are for a little bit of a specialty power hour show, and we're just switching things up. We're seeing if you guys might like this show a little bit more than the daily wrap-up. So basically, instead of the wrap-up happening at 7 p.m. when the market's already closed, our thoughts were, what if the community would like the wrap up before the market actually closes, because we might be able to go over a little bit of information that might have an impact on what you want to do with your play. So we're just giving it a whirl. If you like it, we'll stick with it. If not, no harm, no worries. We will be, we could always pivot back to what we were doing, but let's just try this out for a little bit. Let's just try this out for a wee little bit. And I do appreciate you guys joining. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, all that stuff. Obviously, whenever you do anything new, sometimes it's a little bit tough to get that traction that you're after. So it would mean a lot to me if you guys could like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I am very, very surprised to say that the SPY is up over 0.8%. So is the NASDAQ. The Russell's up even more. Bitcoin's trading just below 103,000, gaining almost 2%. You have Tesla still up 8% on the day. Oil dropping almost 7%. If you ask me this morning, if I in any way thought the current numbers would be like the numbers of the day, I would say you're on something. You're smoking something good, and it's a bit rude that you are not sharing with the rest of the class, because man, oh man, take a look at what happened. Take a look at this craziness on the day. We pumped, massive dump, and now we're actually looking at a bullish engulfing candle on the SPY. We took out the close and the low from yesterday at 12:30 and then ripped it right back up. Pretty much the same situation on the NASDAQ. Tesla, huge pump up until around 11:30 today. Since then, slowly drifting off, obviously getting stuck at that key level just around 350. And oil, at the same time that the market started to pop, you have oil absolutely vomiting. And as you can tell, we have some major things to go over. So yes, I want to go over why we have so much whipsaw in the market today. I want to go over some of the key numbers of the market that I think you're going to care about in the short term. Obviously, I also want to talk about the belle of the ball, aka Tesla, because man, oh man, is that a beautiful percentage gain. So we have a lot to cover between now and market close, and what I want to do is get through fast enough, so just in case there's questions right at the end, maybe the final 5 minutes, just in case you guys have something on your mind, obviously I will be doing my best to get to your questions before the market does officially close. Dow jumps 300 points as oil drops following a restrained retaliation by Iran to the U.S. attack. So basically, the market is up because even though Iran did respond and attack us, apparently it wasn't that hardcore. The market's like, we thought it was going to be worse. So now we are pippity popping, which means we are not that far from an all-time high. I know this is crazy to say it, but we are in fact not. We are 2.1%, or really if you measure it the other way, even less. It's going to be 2.09, so instead of 2.16, we are 2% from an all-time high. Obviously, we pumped, we dropped, we pumped, we dropped, we pumped an even shallower pullback, really tying this to mid-June. And now we are getting a potential another pop. If you look at the heat map, it is green for the S&P 500. The only thing in the red is the energy sector down here. Let me pop myself up right here. Energy sector is red. And that's obviously because oil is dropping. But other than that, things are very, very strong today. Looking at the options flow, pretty much the same thing that we saw in price. A huge dip until about 12:30, 12:40, and then a pop, and then a little bit of a pullback. And right now, it seems as if the options market is getting a bit of a rally into close. Same thing in the Mag 7. I was showing you this in the morning stream that it was just so insatiable, if you will. It just did not stop. Even in this drop to about 12:30, only a little bit of pullback in options, and then guess what? It popped right back up. And yeah, we are drifting a bit into close, but overall, a strong day. Not only in price, as in higher highs, higher lows, that nice follow through, but we're also seeing it being married with the options flow as well. So obviously, let's get into it because there's quite a bit of whipsaw today, which means I think there's going to be quite a bit on your mind. Iran launches 6 ballistic missiles at the U.S. The airbase in Qatar was hit. Not much damage. Apparently, it was very well telegraphed. They were warned before. No real casualties, at least that I haven't seen. And it was more of a needing to do this to save face. Iran attacks U.S. military base in Qatar with missiles. Iran's launched what it called a powerful and destructive missile strike on the U.S. military base in Qatar. The attack came 2 days after U.S. B-2 bombers and cruise missiles sites in Iran. So basically, this was their clapback. And the fact that they telegraphed it and seemingly didn't really want to hurt anyone, and really they were just doing it to save face, the market's like, sick, we'll take that. Iran fires at U.S. base in Qatar as Gulf neighbors close airspace. So here's a pretty decent breakdown from the Wall Street Journal. It's not even a minute long, so let's quickly watch this. Iran's military said it attacked the airbase in Qatar, the largest U.S. military installation in the Middle East. These were apparently the ballistic missiles that got sent. Qatar officials said the missile attack was intercepted without any casualties. So obviously things got a little tense going into it. And then we realized it wasn't that bad and everything popped. U.S. forces shot down Iranian missiles bound for the base, according to the U.S. U.S. forces shot down Iranian missiles. The move comes days after the U.S. launched a surprise attack on Iran, dropping bunker-busting bombs on its nuclear sites. So this is just some live footage of it so you guys can get a better understanding. Really not that crazy in all reality because we've definitely seen far, far worse. And like I said, intercepted, no casualties, very well telegraphed. But with that being said, at futures market open, as in 6 p.m. last night, oil was sky high, up 5%. We were trading at 77.78 a barrel. Then around market open-ish today, maybe 7, 8 p.m., U.S. anticipates Iranian attack. And even with that, oil was rallying into it, and then it kind of came back, and it was kind of signaling to the world that it just really wasn't that bad. Iranian attack begins, and yet even with the attack beginning, remember, a very oil-rich area, more importantly, the supply routes, oil dropped anyway. It's the lowest since in June. It's just, I guess, I find it, I don't mean to laugh because this is a very, very serious thing, but it's just crazy that the market's like, nah, just really not that bad whatsoever. Iran attack was disclosed to Qatar in advance to minimize casualties, and that it was. Iran wanted to symbolically strike back against the United States, but also wanted to allow all sides an exit ramp. So they did it to say that, like, yeah, we struck back, but they did it in a way where, like, clearly they don't want to actually have a war. Iran used same strategy in 2020, warning Iraq before strike on U.S. base, all according to the U.S., the New York Times, excuse me. President Trump has no plans to react or respond to Iran's failed missile attack. So really, it was that piece of news you could see coming out just around 2 p.m. where the market's like, okay, sick. We could run with that, even pumping earlier. But somewhere between 1 and 2 after lunch is really my major point, that we got the news that, hey, okay, we're not doing anything back to that. And obviously the market is a fan. And we're even seeing some people say that this attack was de-escalatory, which I know that's a crazy thing to say because missiles were in the air and people were getting bombed. And yet the market is literally pricing in that this is a good thing. First details have emerged that both President Trump and Qatar officials were notified in advance of the attack. Iranian officials say this was to minimize casualties. On Sunday, we posted a note stating our bull case of the weekend's events, which is one where Israel, Iran, and U.S. all claim victory. Israel will say that they destroyed Iran's nuclear capabilities. The U.S. will say the same, and Iran will say they dealt blows to Israel and the U.S. Today's response by Iran did exactly that, with Iran calling them devastating and powerful to the U.S. On top of this, Iran says that they used the same numbers of bombs used on U.S. on Iranian nuclear sites, another sign of a symbolic attack. Today's Iranian response was a powerful but de-escalatory one with many symbolic moves. We believe this opens the door for peace talks to resume, and then obviously they just go on to basically avoid WW trace. So with all this being said, we are getting some commentary from Trump. The sites that we hit in Iran were totally destroyed, and everyone knows it. Only the fake news would say anything different in order to try to demean as much as possible, and even they say they were pretty well destroyed. Working especially hard on this falsehood is blah, 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 and he's just calling everyone out. So this is exactly what the newsletter was just referring to, of all sides are saying they won. All sides are saying they won, which maybe this is just the most reasonable path. If, like, obviously we all know they didn't win, but if they're all saying that, and even if they're saying it to save face, maybe this could really open up the door for peace talks. And I know we're just kind of giving a little bit of conjecture of why people are optimistic, but really when it boils down, what matters is the market is truly, in fact, optimistic. I mean, yes, there was some hecticness on this breakdown, but really starting at 1, the market to our face is telling us, nope, this is a good thing. So whether you agree with it or not, in the short term, the market is actually loving what is being pitched. On top of it, though not important, but I should let you guys know because it is technically another bullish thing, Fed Governor Bowman favors July interest rate cut if inflation stays low. So as there is a good chance of this now actually happening. And I'm not saying that Bowman is really suing everyone. I'm saying inflation stays low because oil, though it spiked, obviously it's now low. So that's a very good thing. Oil dropping means it's not going to have as much negative influence on inflation. So pay attention to that from Bowman, but also pay attention to the fact that we're going to be hearing from Powell tomorrow. 10 a.m. tomorrow. We will be streaming this. I hope to see you there. He will be testifying to the House and then the Senate on Wednesday. On top of that, we'll be getting consumer confidence tomorrow and new home sales on Wednesday. And just to fast forward to later this week, GDP on Thursday and inflation report on Friday. So keep all that in mind. And obviously, that's the breakdown of what's happening in the market. I know a lot of whipsaw, and I know it doesn't really make the most sense on the surface level, but when you start to think about it, it just seems as if we're closer to this whole hubbaloo. That's a funny word. Anyway, all of that ending, so the market's like sick, back to what we were doing anyway, 2% from the all-time high. But there is a special victor of the day, and that goes by the name of Tesla. Tesla currently up 8%. Beautiful technical breakout above 335. Currently trading just below 350. Not that far away from the late May high around high 360s. Tesla is crushing, and it's all the excitement related to the robo-taxi network, which was just officially launched yesterday. Tesla stock pops 10% as Musk touts successful robo-taxi Austin launch. Tesla rolled out autonomous robo-taxis in Austin, Texas on Sunday to a limited group of testers. CEO Elon Musk said in a post on social media that the customers were charged a flat fee of $4.20 because of the lulls. The launch puts Tesla head-to-head with Alphabet-backed Waymo, which is already operating a fleet of robo-taxis in several cities. But for whatever reason, well, we all know the reason, Tesla gets a lot more of the fanfare than, obviously, the Google vehicles do. So with all of that, that's kind of the reasoning why, but really, once again, what matters is the technical breakout, the follow through, the spike in volume, the spike in excitement. And I also wanted to show you what was going on in the world of options. You could see early this morning, people just could not get enough. The options market went haywire. People closed out puts, they ripped calls. Granted, it did seemingly turn off at 11. Even though it turned off, it never really gave any of it back. It was just extreme bullishness. That's when it stopped. And now price is going sideways. Options are going sideways. So that's the news there. Options market is very, very strong, but I know you guys want more than just very, very strong. For me, you want some of the details, and this is the current kind of gamma map that we're seeing on Tesla. And what's interesting is we are trading right around here, as in we cleared all of these different positive gamma nodes, which means the next step, really 365 to 370, we have a little bit of interesting action in there, but the next big one is 380. So if you're curious about levels beyond just technicals like recent highs and lows, if you want to know where the key open interest is at, I'm telling you, we already cleared this. We now have that nice support at 345. Hopefully it does close above that today, currently trading at 349. So if we can close on the north side of 345, the next setup, I guess, would be this cluster of trades between 365 and 370-ish. Yeah, 365, 360. Okay, yeah, somewhere in this 5-point region. And then the next very evident one, a massive negative gamma node, would be around 380, which is very close to this high vol point where things could get even crazier. So this would be my target number one if I had a short-term Tesla trade. And then target number two would be all the way up here at 380. That's just where the options positioning is at. Obviously, I will update you all on it again tomorrow after the overnight session. So feel free to check in on this, or feel free me to ask me about it. But man, oh man, Tesla easily could get some legs out of this. So I just wanted to explain to you who really the belle of the ball was and why Tesla is the belle of the ball, but absolutely crushing. So you have SPY and the NASDAQ, really the overall market, a day definitely marred by just absolute whipsaw, up, down, up, flat. Who knows what's going to happen between now and market close. You have Tesla, huge pop, and then pretty much just stable for the rest of the day. You have oil down, up, and then right around 1230, completely losing its footing, and a massive, massive vomit from about 74 a barrel all the way down to 69. So that's pretty much the skinny on the day. No one really knew what to expect going into today. But, oh, wait, hang on. We just got another report right here. What is this? What is this? 3 members of Iranian Navy were killed in an Israeli strike on Bandar port. Okay. That one not really directly involving us. Yeah, the market is just seemingly pricing in a little bit more of the fact that we seem to be closer to the end of this madness than the beginning. So in about 1 or 2 minutes, we are going to have the market on close, the MOC, the market on close bots run. That's why all the time at 350, you could go to the 1 minute chart and you're going to notice between really the end of the minute of 349 and the start of 350, things go a little bit haywire, a little bit crazy. And that's exactly what that is about. It's the market on close bots running. Will they be bullish? Will they be bearish? Your guess is as good as mine. I wouldn't mind if we actually ended the day right here, right at 610. That would make my life a wee bit easier. But in reality, I have to admit, in the medium time frame, I'm looking at like the 4-hour chart, the daily chart. It did look as if the bears were gaining some control Wednesday and Friday of last week. And it looks like it was a very short-lived effort, because I have to tell you, the daily chart, the options flow, things are seemingly setting up a bit more in favor of the bulls. But like I said, that is just one man's opinion. So in about right here, you can see, well, maybe my big head's blocking it, but you're going to have to trust me on this one. In 20 seconds, the market on close bots are going to run. We're going to see a little bit of hecticness. And then from there, I do want to turn it over to you for about a 10-minute Q&A for anything on your minds. If you want to see any of the options breakdown, get my thoughts, some charting, whatever is on your mind, let's do that. And how'd the MOC go? Well, we are okay. What are we doing? Oh, positive. Initial tick was higher, the MOC auction. So we ticked higher, selling it back. Interesting. That was a large jump that was quickly sold. Something going weird with that auction. A little bit of jumpiness in that auction for sure. So technically SPY took, oh, there we go. All right, SPX now also took out the high. Well, golly gee willikers. Golly gee willikers, folks. Oh, so I had puts. I got out of those like an hour or two ago. I got out of those a little bit before my risk was hit. And now I'm really, really thinking about getting into some calls. And I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Oh, really? MOC, 200 million to sell. That's interesting. I thought it would. MOC imbalance negative on the S&P 500, positive on the Nasdaq, positive on the Dow, positive on the Mag 7. Interessante, mi amigo. Interessante. Folks, I'm really should I get into calls? Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Like, we're taking out the high. Bullish, 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 bullish. Look at this. This 4-hour, we're taking out these recent highs. Look at that. Just this breakdown. We took out the lows, lows, lows. Market said, nah, honey. And we popped it right back up. That is some strength. That is some strength. 30 minutes been bullish. Even that, it dipped at 12:30, fought right back, said no way. Look at this. Look at these 4 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 4-hour bars green in a row. And that was even after this one midday today took out the low from the last 3, still ended in the green. That is just not. The bulls are back in town. They are not giving up. We broke this trend line. It's popping now. The risk is quite large, though. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Is this a time just to be degenerately bullish? Is it a time to be degenerately bullish? The Qs have not taken out their recent high, but that might be on the schedule for tomorrow. Oh, if you guys were me, would you be ripping SPX calls right now? If you guys were me, would you be ripping SPX calls at this moment in time? Not rhetorical. Very 608. I'm not you, but I just did. I'd be sending this one out with the win today. I had a win on the futures market. I did not have a win on the options market. Just ripped the calls. Full port SPY calls expiring tomorrow. Oh brother, 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 oh brother. Oh, am I gonna hate myself for this one? Am I gonna hate myself for this one? This is a ballsy play. This is a ballsy play. All right. Let me check one thing. Let me check one thing. All right. My what the fuck? What kind of play was that? Well, good luck to the Discord for figuring this one out. I didn't realize that it doesn't pair it together that nicely. But obviously, what I did here was a put credit spread, so technically bullish. But here, I'll load this up to the Discord before market close. I'll load it up. Hang on. I just want to explain it a little bit because there's going to be some confusion on what I just did. All right. Hopefully that clears it up a wee bit. A wee bit. All right, you guys talked me into it. We're ripping it. I see oil getting clocked here. It was really getting clocked. Well, that would technically be bullish. Fuck, I forgot about. Is there even enough liquidity to get out of this one? No, there is not. Trump, I will encourage Israel to also... Wait, what is he saying? We have some message. Trump, I will encourage Israel to also pursue peace. Perhaps Iran can now proceed to peace and harmony. No Americans were harmed and hardly any damage was done. Trump on Iran retaliation. There has been... What is this? There have been 14 missiles fired, 13 were knocked down, and 1 was set free because it was headed in a non-threatening direction. Iran has officially responded to our obliteration of their nuclear facilities with a very weak response. So, yeah, all sides are claiming victory here. All sides. So we had a little bit of craziness in the market for it for a second, and now nothing. So I guess my question to you guys, and since we are getting to that point in the day, like, is this just another bottom? So I've been marking out some highs and lows. That's like what all these white boxes are. So recently it's been a pain in the ass to trade because we've had this high, then we put in a low, then we put in a high. Now we are allegedly putting in a low. So like my count over the past week and a half has been absolutely destroyed because of we've had no nice trending market. We're just getting whipped every single day. High, low, high, low. And now the question is this going to be the time that follows through? What's interesting is this right here, this bar. I was talking with ChatGPT about it. This is obviously the daily chart for the S&P 500. And for those of you who study candlestick patterns, you're going to be like, dude, that's a bullish engulfing bar. The high is above the previous high, but yet the low also went below the previous low. But we're closing on the bullish side, hence the name bullish engulfing, because it fully engulfs the previous bar. And what's interesting is whenever I was taught about candles, I always was taught like, yo, like bullish engulfing bar, like that's where it's at. Like that's what you gotta trade. Like that's so bullish. And then I asked ChatGPT, I was like, hey, could you give me like an extensive statistical breakdown of the next bar's performance on the S&P 500 after a bullish engulfing bar? And it was slightly better than 50-50. Slightly better than 50-50, which I thought was very, very interesting. You'd think that the way people act about it, that the odds are like some amazing, like you just got to full port the whole thing. But in fact, dude, you want to know, you guys want me to show you how someone always fucking knows something? Here we are. We are at 6026. You want to know something disgusting? Let me show you this. Let me show you the fact that someone knows something 100% of the time. And it is not me, even though I wish it were. Anyone notice something weird here? Like the fact that at some point today, someone slapped on a massive call debit spread, betting that the market would go above 6035. This is a bullish call debit spread. They are along the 6035s. They sold the 6040 for a bit of protection. This is a bullish play that was not there this morning. If you go back to market open, not there, Tonto. Dr. Watson, we're on to a little bit of fuckery because it was not there. And if you look, still not there at market open, still not there. In fact, there's a 6050 credit spread, and then you keep fast forwarding and you're like, I wonder what's going on. And then bada bing, bada boom, some fucking crazy person out there at 11:20, way far, way before any of this craziness. 11:20 is when this position was created. They're like, yep. And this is with size. This is 12,000 contracts each one. And at that point, we were trading at 6,000. And the person said, yep, we are going to rip another 35 points, another $3.50 in the SPY on a 0 DTE. This happened at 11:20. And fucking guess what? Even with that craziness, when it dipped, this is where the crazy part happens right here. Let me fast forward to like where the market got absolutely murked. Nothing. They held through that entire time. They did not care whatsoever. They said, nope, feels fine. Doesn't matter that the market puked. They held. In fact, they added a couple hundred to the position. And look at this. Fast forward all the way till now. They are still holding, obviously, as we are going into close. Dude, the amount of money that thing, like crazy. Absolutely insane. And there we do. There we do it. We settle at 6025. Insane. Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino has officially closed to kick off the week, Monday, June 23rd. The SPY gaining 0.99%. The NASDAQ gaining 0.93%. The small cap sector up 1.2%. Bitcoin up 2.2%, trading at 103,000. Tesla just below 350, gaining 8.2%. Across the board, everything is green except for oil, which is plummeting down 8% in real time. And this all happened, this green bullish utopia, all hit you in a day that the U.S. military bases in Qatar were bombed by Iran in retaliation. And the market said, you know what? We're bullish because it looks like these attacks were a bunch of fucking nothing and just exclusively symbolic. That's the crazy world we live in. If you somehow managed to make money today, a massive congrats to you, because this was nothing but Whipsaw Central. It's just headline risk. That's the world we live in. And if you were on the right side of the headlines at one point, seriously, a massive congrats to you. A massive congrats to you. And also a congrats to you if you were just playing Tesla, because that was absolutely phenomenal. If you ended up crushing Tesla, huge congrats to you on that as well. So Tesla dominating, the overall market doing the opposite of what you think it's going to do, but obviously still putting in a very solid day. Hopefully today's breakdown explains it all a little bit more. But the TLDR, if you're just exclusively turning in for this point of the show, the reason the markets went up is because with this retaliation, the market is basically saying all retaliations are done and maybe just just maybe we can get to some sort of peace talk conclusion between Israel, Iran, and the U.S. Are they right? I hope so, but that is definitely what the market is signaling, not only from the risk-on environment in equities, but also from the absolute plummet crashing prices in oil. Like I said, you might agree, you might disagree, but this is definitely what the market is 100% pricing in at this moment in time. Tomorrow is going to be crazy. We have Jerome Powell testifying. He's testifying again also on Wednesday. On top of his testimony tomorrow, we're going to get the consumer confidence report at 10 a.m. So we'll be streaming that whole crazy thing. Later on this week, we're going to be getting durable goods, GDP, and in another inflation report. That's going to be what we have to conclude the week. So it's going to be a crazy week. JP Morgan position expires a week from today, and then we get into one of the bullish trading periods of the entire calendar year, the first half of July. Really, the final week of June to really, historically, the final week of July, the bulls do nothing but dominate. So we're going to see how it plays out, but hopefully the bulls are once again in control this time around, just because right before market close, I joined the bullish party and ripped it with some calls. So if you're interested in the exact strike and which ones I'm playing and for what time frame, obviously feel free to check it out in the Discord. Folks, that's what I have for you. And before I let you go, question. This is the first time we've done a power hour stream in quite a while, and I just wanted to get your initial feedback on it, folks. Do you like this better than the daily wrap-up video? Do you like the timing of it, because it still gives you, I guess, an opportunity to place trades if you deem necessary? So do you like it? Do you like the 7 p.m. daily update videos? I would appreciate a little bit of feedback to understand what you guys like. What do you guys like? What do you guys like? What do you like? Last 10 Julys were green, 10 out of 10. Yeah, the seasonality of July is very bullish. Very, very, very bullish. I like Piper Stream better. You and me both. You and me both. Market close vids are badass. You're badass. Yes, 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 yes. Both are good. Keep it going. Power hour for sure. Much better. I'm not watching the wrap up until AM next day. Okay, interesting. Hard as fuck, my guy. Keep the power. Hard as fuck. Hell yeah. Interesting. A 24/7 live would be nice. So you just want a stream of my life, like a Truman Show. A Truman Show type of a situation is seemingly what you are after. Interesting. Interesting. We might be able to put that together, just like the nonstop, like the real Matt Kohrs show. The Matt Kohrs unedited, Matt Kohrs raw. Maybe we can figure that one out. So that's what I have for you. I appreciate the feedback. I hope you crushed it in the market today. I will catch you guys early tomorrow morning. Have a good one. Peace.